but you and Tyson are roughly the same size.
Okay, here we
roughly
go.
the same weight and roughly the same age.
Right.
Number one, if you got a call to do the next exhibition match with Tyson, would you do it?
Of course.
Of course.
To box Mike Tyson? I would love that.
Here we go. This
I
is
would
a
love
Vlad
that.
TV world
kidding me?
premiere.
No, just how
Michael Jai White agrees to box Mike Tyson.
Of course. Why would I not do something
You
like
would
that?
agree to it.
Are you
100%.
kidding? Like, why would I not?
Okay, so here's the next question. Do you think you would win?
Yeah, of course I think I would win.
Okay.
Those are the words of Michael Jai White as he responds to a question that DJ Vlad has asked him about a possible fight with Mike Tyson. Now, listen, you guys know, if you guys follow Mike Tyson, if you follow Showbiz the Adult, you know that Mike Tyson has decided to continue his exhibition career, versus, it's Floyd. Now Mike is doing this thing, and then Mike has became a pioneer for older fighters to do the same thing. So you have a league of extraordinary older gentlemen, right? And Michael Jai White is no exception. He's a television superstar on top of like a 12 style black belt in martial arts to different degrees, as well as a boxer. He also played Mike Tyson in the Tyson movie back in the early 90s. Okay, so, he knows Mike Tyson. Michael Jai White is no stranger to combat. And when he was asked, he was like, of course I would fight Mike Tyson. Why wouldn't I? And I think not only will I fight him, I think I would win. Wow. Look, this is my take on that. You have to look at the perspective of Michael Jai White. Would Michael Jai White beat Mike Tyson? I don't really know. I don't know what type of shape Michael Jai White's in. I would assume, he's a year-round guy that, sometimes you'll see him chunkier than others because you've seen some of the movies that, sometimes he's ripped and chiseled and sometimes he's bulky. So I think he always displays some sort of exercise. He doesn't drink or smoke or any of that, because he practices Budo, and that's against anything that Budo stands for. So he does, so has a clear mind, and he's a gym rat. He is a gym rat. Okay. And I think that through his mind, his mindset is, me fighting Mike Tyson would be a dream. You know what I mean? That's just like me. Well, who is my age that still fights? I would say Povetkin, but not nearly. That's someone on the level, okay, that was once Billy Badass. I really don't have anybody to compare Mike Tyson to, but it's Mike Tyson. It's almost like asking a guy that, is an actor, would you play one-on-one with Michael Jordan? Of course you would. The only difference is this ain't a game, and somebody can get hit and somebody can definitely get hurt. But the competitiveness of Michael Jai White, of course he would say he doesn't believe that he would lose. But, this interview was quite informative. He would agree to fight Mike Tyson. It would be an honor, and he learns from certain things of combat. And see, a lot of times, people like myself, and I identify with Michael Jai White. I'm more interested in the skill, the finesse, and the art form of combat, not necessarily what it does. The end result, it could hurt you and kill you, damage you, put you down. But it's for defense. That's supposed to be the purpose of doing it. But when people practice it in terms of combating, fighting each other, you're having a situation where you the ultimate outcome, someone could get hurt. And Mike Tyson and Roy Jones, they hit each other and things like that nature. And and they hit each other with some punches. They're not accustomed to getting hit like that in a while. But then the art form of the things they do, the movement, the thought process of combat, the adrenaline, the anticipation, okay? The tediousness of small movements. Those are the things that I am attracted to, especially when you learn something, and then I like it what Michael Jai White also said, and I'm going to go further.
Power.
Dude, if he whooped my ass, I would laugh at the whole scenario. Because, dude, man, I don't mind. To be able to box Mike Tyson, I like living my life. I would never turn down an opportunity like that. Like, think about it, Vlad. I get in the ring with all these people. I've been boxing champions like, Layman Brewster. Like,
You've been sparring champion.
See,
you haven't actually gotten into a professional fight with these guys, right? Is that true though?
Here's what you don't understand. You understand sparring is fighting.
Counterpunch. That's exactly what I wanted you guys to hear. Okay. Michael Jai White has told you he's been sparring guys all of his life for the longest, decades. And DJ Vlad, smartass, probably never put on a pair of gloves in his life. Oh, that's sparring. That's not fighting. Dude, if you can die sparring, a guy died sparring last year. You know that, right? Just for you guys don't know, FYI, a guy died last year sparring. So you can't tell me that sparring isn't fighting. You're getting punched. You got some headgear on. And then, in fact, let me let you guys in on a little secret. People are now starting to think that headgear is actually bad for your brain because it gives your brain a target. Because you're still getting hit nonetheless. You're just getting hit, just like gloves protect your hands and the headgear's supposed to take your head. But if the gloves with your hand in it and your glove with the hand in it hits the headgear and the headgear hits your head, what do you think is happening? Impact. That's exactly what's happening. Okay? It ain't like you got your arm against the fucking thing, bracing it. No, it's your brain. It's hitting your skull and your brain is behind your skull, right? Right? Okay. How many people get injured sparring? Numerous times. Okay? Because this is what happens when people spar. When people spar, they're fighting. That's why, how many times have you heard people get knocked out in sparring? Counterpunch. So don't tell me for the next person, smart ass like D-Vlad, counterpunching him, D-Vlad, counterpunching D-Vlad. Oh, well, sparring that's not the same thing. Listen, I don't want to hear it for the next person. So a little cheat sheet for you guys. Sparring is fighting. And when you spar somebody, that headgear, it may protect some things. It might protect you from getting cut, maybe. But does it protect impact? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. You're still getting hit in the head. You're still taking punches. You know what I'm saying? You're just not getting hit directly with the glove. You're just getting hit behind the glove. And your headgear is doing most of the damage to your brain. Okay, so yes, it does. I spar with a guy I train with. We spar. When we spar, okay, he only gets headaches when he spars. Why do you think that is? Because you're taking punishment to the head. Counterpunch. But back to Mike. Mike knows, like, dude, I've been doing this shit with guys for free. On top of taking an exhibition fight, being in the spotlight, doing something that he probably wanted to do a while. Because I think it was times when Michael Jai White questioned himself, like, you know what? Maybe I should go into the UFC. But then he seen those SAG checks and residuals come in. He thought about it. Maybe not. I'll just do this for fun. For fun, man. Right? So I think what it is with Michael Jai White, I think this is his opportunity to do something that was probably a fantasy for him anyway. Especially when you're a gym rat. Especially when you love the art of combat. When you love, like, when someone either UFC or boxing does something that you didn't anticipate, makes a counter move or a counter punch on you. You know what I mean? If you are a true competitive person without the arrogance, okay, because arrogance is a totally different thing. I'll talk about that later. But if you without that arrogance, you know what I mean? You will respect that and appreciate that and admire that even. Like, yo, that was a good one. You've seen in times where a guy gets hit. I just seen Campbell and Linares, okay? Linares was doing a good job. Campbell came on in the second half, and he started doing things, and he hit Leonidas, and Leonidas would give him a nod. That nod is a nod of appreciation and maybe admiration for doing what that fighter didn't even anticipate that fighter to do. Okay, so that's Michael Jai White's mindset, okay? And yes, he officially would agree to box Mike Tyson. You guys tell me what you think of Michael Jai White officially agreeing to fight Mike Tyson if he's in the runner-up of those fighters. Of course, tell me what you think. Please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.